Salutations, everyone of the anime interwebs. Or not interwebs. I don't know how you got here, but welcome nonetheless. You know, I had a completely different mindset when I made the initial script for this anime. I wanted to talk about the pros and cons in a certain way, followed by the presentation, and then wrap it up like so. But then I was, honestly, procrastinating on YouTube when I stumbled upon Nextaku's video on Devilman Crybaby, which, through his insight on different not always equaling good, I had a short epiphany about what I was writing. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't solely change my script upon what one person said, but admittedly I had an inkling notion before all this that it wasn't me enough right in the script writing, which I always found as a flaw in my work now that I think about it. And a lot of what I previously stated just sounded too hollow for what I claim to be an anime that is part of my favorite shounen of all time, along with the likes of Magi and Hunter x Hunter. AKA, this won't be so analytical, but I'm not really an analytical YouTuber to begin with, so I don't know what you were expecting of me. Oh well, let's get started with my review of Nanatsu no Taizai, or better known in English, The 7 Deadly Sins. Once upon a time, in a land of not Camelot, lived a group of perilous knights, unmatched in physical or magical prowess, loved by both the royal family and the kingdom they serve. Until for whatever reason, a beloved ally and longtime warrior of the kingdom was found murdered in cold blood, with their knights taking the blame and newfound scorn as filthy, filthy traitors. But not everyone believed the winds of gossip. Oh no, for the lovely and adorable Princess Elizabeth snuck away from the castle on a mission to round up the 7 deadly sins, clear their name, and bring order to the Holy Knights running rampant, along with any other challenges they may face along the way. So let's get right down to the first and biggest pro, in that this show is fun as heck. The journey is fun to follow and doesn't require the viewer into being in all of the depth and lore the show has been hiding. But it does wiggle those clues with open arms for anyone wanting to find out. Also, I like how the plot seems to have a clear beginning, middle, and end, and where the anime ends on a nicely wrapped bow, only to naturally flow into the next and real arc that shatters expectations. This is helped by the fact that the world itself may be cut off from the medieval cloth, but it's an entirely different animal of its own, with the Holy Knight system, fresh feel, and colorful atmosphere. Character-wise, every single sin is likable and great to watch. Diane is a spunky cutie pie, Bon is a lovable rogue, King is the man. Adorable, but also the man. Gauntlet is an assortable jelly bean package of mystery and fun. Hawk, who may seem as just a mascot to some, is an irreplaceable bro that really shocks the viewer later on in how he's put into the franchise. Merlin is a chaotic goddess, and Meliodas, either he ties or excels with Alibaba as my current anime crush. Oh fuck, he's blonde. Well now, you can chalk that up as the 12th person on the Shannen is attracted to blonde, goofy, or crazy characters in anime list tally thing. But can you blame me? It's the character that hooked me to this show in the first place, and the reason I keep coming back for more. On the surface, he's a no fucks given, always smiling badass who doesn't hide his pervert card. But then you stop and really think about him for a second. Wait, isn't he supposed to be the Sin of Wrath? Like, we're talking Full Metal Alchemist homunculite type of wrath here, and he's squeezing boobs one minute and one-shotting fools the next. Plus, if you want to look deeper into the story, oh my god, it just goes into different flavors of wow in an instant with this chap. Obviously, I won't spoil it here, but with season 2 currently airing, or aired, the anime-only watchers will soon see what I mean. Of course, not everything is without flaw, and 7 Deadly Sins does share its missteps. I will agree half-wise with the collective consciousness saying that Elizabeth doesn't do much this season. In my opinion, for a slow progression character and not a damsel in distress, she's allowed the ability to evolve and still be likable, even if evolving isn't always about physical prowess. This doesn't excuse her frantic feel of just being there, but I'm glad it's temporary for what's to come in season 2. Secondly, as a flaw for the series, and this one is honestly a personal nitpick, but I didn't like the tournament mini arc thing. It felt redundant since our heroes are immensely stronger than most others. Yes, they do get power-ups and learn new techniques over time, but besides the potential gaps later on, it just had a place for a series about good guys who fight bad guys, fighting the bad guys who are supposed to be the good guys. And finally, kind of a similar tone of the first flaw, season 1 just is more of a precursor to season 2 in general. There's so many seeds planted and plots unsolved that without season 2, you would be missing a good chunk of the experience. I wouldn't say that this impacts my enjoyment because with so much stuff that goes on in the latter season, season 1 definitely has more time to be light and fun. For now. But yeah, that's literally the brunt all I have to say on that, so let's move on to the inevitable commercial break. What can I say? This was done by A1 Pictures, and for all their scrimmages with the anime fandom and coining the quote-unquote protagonist face, when it comes to adapting a work, they do a decent job at it. Though it's important to remember a studio's pedigree doesn't alone make a show good or bad visually, but even with all of the freelance work, the trends between companies are still prevalent, and with A1, they adopt manga well, or at least try to. Seven Deadly Sins looks impeccable to its original source material, and while it doesn't have to be point-on-point of pages to animate well, you can see from a common man's perspective that fight scenes, scenery, and character designs were pretty damn good to look at. At least for me, I like looking at it, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. But can we please talk about some of the hair colors? Because, really? Pink hair on Gauntlet? I guess I just never paid attention much. I know it's a nitpick, but it's one thing I say about the visuals that's definitely my own thought. Speaking of, I like watching the Mama Pig move around. I should be more talking about the flow of battles and blah to that. But you gotta admit, that's a pretty cool concept for transportation. Not to mentioning the different showcases of races seen through the visuals. It's why I love this series so much, because it's really great to see this journey in motion. No, it's fun to see this adventure in motion. In other sectors, music I'm going to say is kick-ass, and I won't waste much time on this section here. I'm never the best at these, honestly, so I try to be as fast as I can. I like the opening. I mean, sometimes I got it when I have something to say, and sometimes don't. Like when it comes to picking a voice cast, either the Japanese sub or the dub, I actually think at the end of the day, either track will do you just fine. I personally prefer the sub because some voices I can't see done without them. Like Meliodas and Hawk Seiyu, in particular, have such a distinct voice that resonated with me as them. But that doesn't mean the English voices are bad in any way, shape, or form. For example, Bryce, oh god damn it, you're in this one too? I can't escape you! No, seriously, I love the man and I love his work, but he's everywhere. Quick tangent, he's not as much into stuff now, but I'm telling ya, there's always a guy or a group of people who pass the torch of being in stuff a lot. And as far as I can remember, Vic Mignogna was one of them at one time, and now it's Bryce, and soon it's now looking up to be Mike Solisod being the guy that's everywhere. But seriously, I love his work, even though I can't escape him. Though Bryce as Meliodas was good casting. Good job, Boo. Good job, Boo. I like it. I also like King played by, hey, it's Max Middleman. We're gonna see a lot of you this week. Overall, though, the presentation is what I expected. It's good, and for me, I'm just happy it preserves my enjoyment. Yeah, don't got anything else for this one. Let's finish this. Nanatsu no Taizai Season 1 is part of a dish that is better savored than gobbled in one bite. As biased as this sounds, you can't beat this shounen with others in the game of quality. I like that again you have the option to be in-depth as you want with this show, because no matter the experience you find, all are polished to the best of their ability. If put into game lingo, this would be the Wind Waker of the shounen genre. A show with tight mechanics, great writing, and fun atmosphere, sometimes a sloggy arc to tread through, but still comes out on top for those just wanting an enjoyable entry in the genre. So after no considerations, because you already know what I'm going to say, I award the first season of Seven Deadly Sins, aka Nanatsu no Taizai, with a solid buy it rating. It would be higher, but this is still season 1, and we haven't gotten to the shit gets real part yet. This series also gets the recommendation of PG. It would have been E for everyone, but I feel like the religious factions later on do add more to things that just shonen fare doesn't handle normally. If you live in the US, UK, Australia, or Canada, you can find 7 Deadly Sins for streaming over exclusively on Netflix. This includes the sub and dubbed version, so take your pick. As for other anime of this sort, the first 2 are obvious, Hunter x Hunter and Magi. I swear I will not shut up about these 2 series until the sun blows up, and they are perfect complements to a series just as this. Next in line would be the classic shonen with no filler at all, Yu Hakasho, because with the new age of anime fans, sometimes it's best to remind people of the old times of what made this type of genre so fun in the first place. The next series will be the obscure anime pick of the day, and that's Maria the Virgin Witch, a story taking place in a similar setting but puts more religious mythos and themes into work that makes the show more serious on certain topics than one might seem. And the final pick will be a blind one because I've seen my friends recommending it a lot and I just never got around to watching it, in Rage of Bahamet. So let's see if any of these will be to your loving taste. Okay, I feel like my reviewing sense has warmed up a bit as we move on into day 3, but I don't know if my boys will be able to take all of this and the inevitable conflu I will once get when I come back from Anime Boston. In the meantime though, if you liked this video on this week in general, I would highly appreciate it if you gave it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the Anime Misfit today if you're new perhaps, and hit the bell to keep notified because that's apparently a thing my advice columnist told me in recent. You also can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord for all your direct-to-Misfit needs. Hopefully we can bring others into the Misfical resistance. As for me, we'll just be moving things along with a shoujo that tries to tell a fairy tale, but doesn't at the same time. I don't know. It's weird that they jammed it all up into one type of series, but we'll see what that is tomorrow. Shannen out!